Ready Check Radio.
What's up, Internet? It is Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. That means it's time for Snowbound. We had a week off, but we're back this week, and we've got a lot to cover. 9.05 goes live, or went live, I should say, today. Some of you have already experienced the goodness that is all the patch notes, all the class changes, all the Covenant changes, the Mythic Keystone changes, the Torghast changes, the rating changes, the Valor Points and Mythic Gear changes, and the Renown changes. So let's get to it by introducing my hosts today. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, head on over to ReadyCheckRadio.com, RAIDEO, and give a follow and a sub to all the socials you'll see in the upper right-hand corner, whether it be Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, whatever. Come and see us live. Spend some time in chat. Be part of the show. And I just got to say, you really should, because the pre-show and the post-show, they're better than the show. So if you want to know about my OnlyFans, come on over into Twitch chat sometime. On the line, Mr. Dom Greco, a.k.a. Zista. What's up, my friend?
How's it going? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Crazy Cat Man's the achievement today, huh? Allows my cat to be my what? To be in my office, even though I'm allergic to cats.
Mm-hmm.
That cat is very, very close to your face.
Yes.
For being allergic to cats too.
Yes.
I'm
actually extremely allergic to cats.
I can tell.
I am.
I can tell.
I really am, though. That's the worst part.
So, I guess my other host, Miss Angela Mercurio, aka Indy, and her cat will have to be just two-personing the show after Zista goes down in anaphylactic shock.
Oh, I brought my cat because I heard Zista was allergic to cats, so I brought mine.
Oh, nice. She's making a bid for that second window pane on the three-host setup. She's making her move. Indy, you've had an exciting week, though. Before we get started, though, you're part of a new project.
Did I?
Yeah, I thought you did. We congratulated you. Good stuff.
I mean, I think since I've come back to like full-time priest streaming, there's been a lot of really cool stuff that's happened. Warcraft priests partnered me. Women of Warcraft teamed up, put me on their team. And like a lot of other things as far as like meeting other healers in the game who will come through and like literally just I'm not opposed to backseating as long as it's done, respectfully. So I've been getting a lot of really cool feedback and info from other really amazing, more accomplished priests in the Warcraft community. So yeah.
Very, very cool. All these new so we'll be able to see you on a bunch of different channels, and congrats on your new partner.
I hope so. Yeah, thank you.
That's big news. That's big news. Wanted to give you a chance to plug all of them. That's good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, well, I mean, some of it might be, some of it might not be, and some of it has changed since then. We did our 9.05 patch, I guess for lack of a better term, preview a few episodes ago when we knew some of the details. Now, those of you waiting for 9.1, obviously this is not it. We're still probably a couple months from 9.1. I want you two to stew on that one, by the way. I want to wrap this up today with your opinion on, is there maybe a little too much time or not enough time between 9.0 and 9.1? We'll talk about that at the end. But since we've got 9.05 today, let's talk about that. Lots of changes, but most of it's system stuff. It's not really, there's no real content here. There's no new zones, new dungeons, none of that kind of stuff. That's all 9.1. 9.05 here, more systems tweaking. There are some changes to existing content, not just in tweaks, but in adding new systems as far as helping with gear. The Mythic stuff was changing. So give me your impression overall first before we get into the nitty-gritty of the patch itself. It's a big patch, but not necessarily a sexy patch.
Yeah, these are the patches I usually kind of look forward to, because these are more of like the cosmetic updates and stuff like that, but it seems like that is not even true here. Like, yeah, we got the mount that they showed off at BlizzCon and all that stuff. Some of us got the mount. I don't have it yet personally. They said it's going to be a slow rollout or whatever.
Yeah,
but
I
like,
didn't get mine yet either.
yeah, so I usually like that because it's like there's the ones that they throw in every so often to go back to like old raids and get the pets out of there for the pet achievement, and there's none of that. This one is all like systems in place. Like, here's the Valor system. Here's like you have to do keystones, changes to Mythic pluses, things like that. So it's more of like technical fixes and a lot of problematic fixes that people have with systems in place. And I think that's good. I think it's good to have that kind of balance. I'm just hoping the next time this comes around, when we get like 9.1.5, like we're dealing with more of the cosmetic stuff that I'm used to, instead of having this need for system changes that probably shouldn't have occurred in the first place if things were balanced properly.
Yeah, Indy, like I said, it's not a sexy patch, but there's definitely a lot here and a little bit for everybody, I think.
There's a little sexy in it. I mean, depending on what some people are getting more sexy than others. It's kind of like your OnlyFans, you know, like you can't expect it to hit everyone the same way.
I love we're talking about Mike's OnlyFans like it's real. Like that's the other part.
Continue, Indy.
I don't remember what I was saying.
Yeah,
Oh.
most people don't after they leave my OnlyFans. They have no idea what they've just seen and how their lives are going to be changed.
My cat's consoling me for what I've just seen. No, I think, you know, for some people, obviously it's not a super, you know, exciting patch, but there were some things in there that I looked at and I was just like, oh, you know, this is really great. This is something I've been begging for only like the entire expansion long. So yeah, absolutely.
I like that Whole Milk is now canceling the WoW sub and redirecting funds to OnlyFans. Oh my. I don't know. What are we even doing here anymore? We got like 50 minutes to kill. What do you want to talk about? No, let's talk about 905. So one of the things that we did get teased initially and a few days prior to the patch, and then, didn't go over so well, imagine that, was that Mythic Keystone degradation, or the decay that was, I think it was introduced in what, Draenor? Warlords of Draenor? Or was it a...
Yeah.
Or was it BF?
Because Mythic Pluses themselves were... No, was it Draenor?
No, the decay was Battle for Azeroth.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chest that you would get.
Right.
Because we still had challenge modes in Draenor.
Yeah. So the original notes were explaining it that, so if you completed a level 15 keystone, when you got your rewards the following week, you would be given a completion -1 keystone. So in this case, a 14 keystone the following week. And if you didn't complete a 15 or higher that week, that 14 would then turn into a 13 the following week, and on and on and on down the chain. This was predictably not met with the cheers and adulation that maybe Blizzard would have expected or was hoping for when this happened, because nobody likes running high-end difficult content and still basically being punished for it but at the end of the week, rather than rewarded for that successful completion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. On the same token, like I'm not doing a lot of Mythic Pluses at the moment. Like I need to be. I'm going to be. I want the 15 Keystone achievement, so like that's going to be happening. But like I need to
go with you, so you keep me posted. Let's get that done at once, so you're not running Torghast again.
Speaking of which, you want to do Torghast? No, but but like I would run I think I ran like a 13 like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then I've been running like the bare minimums of like 10s, but I'm still getting 13 keys every week, and I don't know what's happening because I'm not doing 13s to be getting those keys. So like I feel like something's bugged, but I don't know.
Well, it's funny you say that, Indy, because their original post to this basically acknowledged we screwed up. You know, everybody was enjoying, hey, if you run a 15, you clear it in time, you get a 15. Everybody was enjoying that, and it turns out that was a mistake. From 9.0 until now, that was a mistake. Kivak's taken to the forums to explain. When we created the original logic for Mythic Keystones in 2016, we wanted to make sure that players were getting Keystones that appropriately suited their proficiency in Mythic Keystone dungeons, and we wanted to reinforce the importance of clean and well-executed dungeon runs. Having Keystones decay from one week to the next accomplished both of those goals. However, in Shadowlands, we introduced the Great Vault and more season-driven tracking of performance in Mythic Keystone dungeons, and we unintentionally disabled the logic for de-leveling Keystones. But the reasons for the original design still apply. Oops.
See,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Indy.
I mean, I don't think you should get a higher keystone without having like the mechanic to get a plus higher level should be to time the one that you have, but I don't agree with the degradation. I mean, sure, listen, there's been weeks where I haven't run anything because I haven't felt like it. Yeah, should it then degrade? Absolutely. But people who actually run their keys and time their keys, like, that's just not cool.
And
Why
that
should
is
we have to
basically what
be-
the entire World of Warcraft Mythic community said.
Yeah.
That's- like
So
all
I
of them.
on the-
agree.
For
on the
once,
same
Zista,
level,
we were
like-
united.
Well, on the same, you get look at it from like the small aspect too. Is like, say you have a low level character, right? That, or not low level, but like low item level character. You know, that comes in, runs a couple things with their guild, and then like they leave for whatever reason, and they got pushed through like a 15, for example, right? And now they're on their own, and they're trying to get keys done, and all they're getting are level 15 keys every week. Like, and then that's not like maybe the level that they're able to do them at. So they would actually have to go in and lower the key. And if it doesn't degrade every single week, they would be getting a 15. So they'd have to knock it down. And that feels kind of bad too. So on the same hand, I understand the degradations. Maybe it's not something that I enjoy or something that I want, but I understand why they put it in place in the first place.
Yeah, but this
So-
initial implementation
Yeah.
also hurts alts, right?
Mhm.
It makes you have to spend more time than you probably want to on particular alts. For those of you that are playing 3, 4, 5 characters, having to avoid that degradation on every single character to a massive degree by,
Right.
you know, I cleared a 15, I'm going to get a 14, so let's push for a 16, and this is my alt, that's harder to do, and it does make it. Anyway, Twitter went nuts, the forum went nuts, and 2 days after that, they rolled that back. So now,
I mean, a good solution,
a
a
good
good solution though, is if you get a high key and you want to do low ones, put an option for us in the UI, like when you stick the key in the slot, you can knock it down a couple levels. So if you want to, like, if you have a 15 key, but you guys only feel like doing a 10 or a 5 or whatever, because you're the group you don't think is capable of doing it, instead of like going in and like resetting the instance to knock the key down, and like this is a long tedious process if you're trying to knock it down 5 levels, just put a little slider in the UI. Drop it down 5 levels if you want. Like, I don't see any problem with that. That would fix a lot of the need for degradation.
honestly, if I
That's a
had
great
my way,
idea.
Indy, it would be even more simple, but I'm never going to have my way on this. I feel like the whole Mythic Keystone thing just needs to go away anyway.
That's how I feel as well.
Yeah,
I
I don't
mean, there's gonna
like
be
the
a lot
Keystone.
of people who are going to push back on that.
Oh,
but,
definitely. Yeah, definitely. I'm obviously in the more casual minority when it comes to, you know, pushing
Yeah.
mythics and things like that. But I'd be happy if the whole Keystone thing was gone and it was just, you know what, queue up for a frickin' dungeon, select the difficulty, and go do it. And you know what, you
Yeah,
can't
that's-
queue up for a higher difficulty than you've previously completed on this character.
That's how
See,
I
I
feel too.
always
Just take
thought-
the timer off.
Yeah.
Just take the
Yeah,
timer
yeah.
off and upgrade the difficulty. That's all. That's what the key should be for, you know?
like keep mythics there for people who want to push time and like really push, but or do some sort of challenge mode where it's infinitely harder and there's objectives within the dungeon to complete, like escorts or something within
Oh God,
that
no, don't
dungeon.
listen to her. No
Why?
escorts in my dungeons. God, no more, please. I'll
What
take all the
happened?
other quests you want to put there,
Are you
Indy, but
scarred
no
by
escorts.
Windsor? Did you do the BRD quest?
No,
You gotta
no
make sure the
escorts.
escort quest though goes the longest possible route that pulls the
Right?
most amount of
Go
mobs.
around this ring, go around
Yeah.
that one, go all the way over there, and then
Go
like, it's
back
like,
to the
Windsor,
front
come
of
on.
the instance. More stuff respawns, and
Do
then
you know why he
go
did
back
that
to the
though?
end.
because he needed all of his gear to be like a badass again. We had to take him into each room where they strategically left each piece of his armor.
The good news, the end result, gang, was they rolled this back. So in a given week now, if you finish a Mythic Keystone dungeon in time, let's say a 15, in next week's Vault, you're going to get a 15 Keystone. You're not going to have that initial mandatory bump down of 1. So if you're completing your 14s, 15s, 16s, whatever, in time, you're going to get those same keys. The other degradation piece does still happen. So if you don't complete it the following week, it will -1 the next week, which I think is everybody breathed a sigh of relief here, because it's kind of if you're not going to change the system, Indy, this is a nice compromise on those that are pushing them every week. Go ahead and keep pushing them every week. You're only going to have to run that 15, that 15, that 15, not a 14, then a 15. And if you're not pushing 14s and 15s, this probably didn't impact you to the degree that would upset you to a great degree.
I think the people that were the most upset were like the 20 plus crowd,
right?
Where they were having to run, if they wanted to 21, 22, they had to waste their time on like the keys that they got out of their vaults just to get it up to the par where they were. It's just like a time waste. So
yeah, it feels bad when you're at that level, I bet, to push a 20 just because you really want to run a 21. That doesn't feel great. On the rating side of things, excuse me, I was going to burp, but I didn't want to do it in my microphone. So
perfect.
Excuse me. I just swallowed that one. On the rating front, Mythic is now open for cross-realm play because the Hall of Fame for Castle Nathria Mythic on the Horde and the Alliance side is now full. So you can push Mythic Castle Nathria cross-realm now. But even this had a little bit of controversy that is actually, supposedly, allegedly, still under investigation by NetEase, who is Blizzard's publishing partner for World of Warcraft China, because maybe you were able to buy your way into the Hall of Fame this time.
Yeah. We were actually talking about this in the end of Raid last week, and this does not bode well. If this was something that was done with like WoW currency, like in-game gold, like it's completely fine. It's within the TOS and like that's okay. But like this was being done with real money, and that's a big no-no. To the point where they were actually going in and like interviewing the players that got the titles and being like, what does this mechanic in the fight do? And if they didn't answer, they just stripped them of everything.
Yeah, how awesome is that, Indy? Like, you get a call and they're like, hey, phase 2, Daddy D. What you do with those mirrors?
Here's the thing. Like, do I agree that real money transactions should be legal? No, I think it's the stupidest thing in the world. I think the most stupid thing about it is a player saying, I'm just going to buy my way into this title and not have earned it. Like, that's their, honest to God, I don't know how you could flaunt a title that you bought, or if you're buying mythic carries just to get your eye level up to 226 or whatever, and that way you've got this amazing IO score and gear level, but you suck. Like, I don't think I think that eventually if somebody bought everything they have in this game, title wise, gear wise, it's gonna at some point it's gonna show. And if Blizzard needs to interview these players with these titles, fine, but I think it would probably be really easy to figure out just by observing that player.
Wowhead did like almost a full kind of investigation on this. This one's still kind of evolving, by the way, so we may circle back to this one on a future show as it continues to evolve. Initially, they thought that some accounts were getting suspended for 30 days over this. That does not seem to be the case. Those initial translations seem to be referencing a ban for a different reason. But upon investigation, Speaking with several players, the punitive actions taken by NetEase appear to range from only deleting the achievement from people to a 3 or 7 day suspension. We saw a few tweets go out that I guess tipped the answers to some of the tests. Zista, notable questions in NetEase's quiz. What causes boss to phase? Talking about Sire, Daddy D. The number of Kabbalists in phase 2. And if there is blood price in phase 3, and if yes, how many? And I think fine, you want to do this. I think it's neat anyway. Let Blizz call me. Blizz calls me and I'm like, fuck your game. I don't care anymore. Don't call me over this stuff. I paid $30 for this. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. But I do think this isn't the way to investigate this.
Not really.
Like
Because
it's not even like
honestly,
they contacted them in game. They literally called them on the phone.
Called them.
Just to be clear.
They called them. Honestly,
Well,
like
that's
there
certainly
are
catching them by
certain
surprise.
answers to this question that you may have done it and not know because it's just not applicable to your role.
Yeah.
Like I'm tanking. I'm so focused. I have no idea how many Kabbalists are in phase 2 because I'm not watching that. After I aim Daddy D for his debuff to get on as many as possible, I'm not looking at the ads. I have no idea how many are there. What is it? 4 at a time? I don't know.
Yeah. 4.
Is it 4 at a time?
It's 4 at least in heroic. I don't know if there's a difference in mythic, but yeah, 4 in heroic.
And that's kind of my point, though. I have no reason to. I would have failed on that question. I would have guessed on that question. Now,
you would have guessed correctly.
The first one I know. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have failed on the second one. So this is not, in my estimation, the way to do this. Did you guys happen to see, by the way, Horde? Actually, I should throw this to you, Indy, because I did see your tweet when you were looking for raid on the Alliance side. And maybe there should come a time when we're allowed to cross-faction raid too, based on how long the Alliance side took to fill up its Hall of Fame.
I get that all the time, okay? And here's the thing. I started out this game as an Alliance player, all the way up to Burning Crusade, where Blood Elves became a thing, and my entire guild took a server transfer. So I'm like, you know what? I'm reinventing myself as a Blood Elf, and that's how the name Indie came about. But that aside, the whole Alliance v Horde thing, I mean, I play both sides, and I notice significant, differences when I'm on my Alliance character. Now, granted, I don't really have as many people to play with on Alliance side, so I pug a lot more on Alliance side. And LFR was just soul consuming, horrible, to the point where somebody even came into my stream and called me toxic, because I'm like, you know what? If you guys are going to come into an LFR and absolutely just sit around and wait for everybody else to get you your loot, I'm just going to sit around and do nothing too. So I can show people this is what it is. It's wasting people's time, and it doesn't have to be super serious. It's LFR. It's easy. You can make so many mistakes in LFR and still win. But the amount of people who come in there and either troll, they literally troll. Somebody told the tank that the goal on Sludge Fist was to get him to run into the wall.
Zista, you heard it here first. Indy's toxic.
This is Alliance LFR, and I'm sorry, if you are an Alliance player, King's Honor friend, I respect you if you're a good player, but from what my experience has been, it's not been good. So yeah, I agree with Mike.
I told Mike
at some point we should be able to just mingle a little bit.
I told Mike this week. Do you remember my answer, Mike, when I said what I would do if I was tanking Sludge Fist in LFR?
What?
I don't know.
No. I said that I would crisscross the pillars. We go in diagonals, just to screw with the raid.
Yep.
I'm not gonna run them into a wall, but I'm gonna make it as long and convoluted and stupid as possible, just because it's LFR.
Really bad.
But I go, this is why I don't tank, because that's what I would do, and it's a waste of everybody's time, so I'm not gonna do it.
Do you think it's time for cross-faction PvE content, instance-based content? In World of Warcraft, it's very rare that you see an MMO these days that, if they even have multiple factions anymore, that you're not able to do raids, dungeons, things like that in mixed company anymore. WoW still kind of hung on to that with the whole Horde versus Alliance thing, and I understand the desire to want to hold on to that, but you can still do that in PvP. You can still have open world PvP be Horde versus Alliance. We're talking about instance-based content. It hasn't really had to do it because the player base has never depreciated to the point where it became a necessity. But I think when you start seeing like the Horde fill their Hall of Fame, and you have to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait for the Alliance to do so, there's an imbalance that could be rectified in a relatively easy fashion, Zista.
But at that point, is it worth even having factions anymore?
Yeah.
If you're allowing you to just like swap around,
Well,
like,
that's the way I
why
started
not
this off.
go
There
to
aren't
one?
many MMOs
Yeah.
that do the whole faction thing
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah,
But that's so big a part of where WoW started.
it is. It's kind of its identity, but at some point, when does its identity become a hindrance? You know, like, is it better to just merge everything down? Because having the Hall of Fame close after what it was an entire month gap between Horde and Alliance, like that's insane. That's insane.
I
What
can see
else?
if they implemented something where, for instance purposes only,
Yeah.
I don't think you're ever going to see any kind of like open world cooperation, except for things like world bosses that both factions can tag.
I mean, that's kind of how Battlegrounds run right now, where you could just get sucked into the other faction. You can play as Alliance as Horde right now.
I'd like to see it. What else? Oh, Valor Points, right? That was the big one, talking about 905 a few weeks ago when it was first kind of spilled and discussed on the PTR. The Valor Point system is back. You can now upgrade your Mythic gear all the way up to item level 220. However, not exactly the easiest route to do so, but it is an option for you if you want to upgrade some of that gear. A few notes on this, as was talked about on previous shows, your Mythic gear that you have acquired prior to today, not eligible for upgrade. It should also be noted that that does include any Mythic pieces you took out of your Great Vault today or this week for your performance last week. If you get a Mythic piece that you take from there based on last week's performance prior to 905, it doesn't matter that you pulled it out this week. It is not eligible for upgrading. You are going to have to get some achievements here to upgrade to 207. You're going to need Mythic 5s or higher, all 8. To get 213, you're going to need Mythic 10s or higher, all of them within the time limit. And to get your upgrades to be able to hit 220, you got to get the Shadowlands Keystone Master achievement that Zista and I were talking about earlier. And that's all 8 dungeons at 15 or higher within the time limit. You got to unlock those achievements to be able to do that. Now, the primary currency to do this is Valor. The Valor points are back, friends. They're back.
When you guys logged in today, what achievement did you get for the dungeons?
I have no idea.
I didn't even log in yet.
I have
You
no
didn't log
idea.
in yet?
I wasn't paying
I'm
attention. I
terrible.
clicked log in and went onto my work laptop and then walked
I'm
to my
going
vault.
to.
I got the Keystone Explorer. That was a big slap in the face. It's like, oh, you've only done everything at 5. I'm like, ugh.
Aww.
That's probably all I'll get because I have 3 that still are sub 10. 3,
Yeah.
I think 2 or 3.
I
But
got a
do
long
we
ways to
know-
go.
Do we know if this is this character, like each character has to
Yes, I believe so. Well, no, I think so. I think it has to be completed on one character. I don't know actually. I don't know. I think
I'm just
the final
wondering.
version is account wide no matter what, but I'm not sure if the individual requirements are account wide or not. That I'm not sure.
Well, you can get the Valor currency that you need from a bunch of stuff, including some of our dailies have now and weeklies have been revamped. I did see that today when I picked them up as I logged in real quick, that they had like 35 Valor, 50 Valor on there as well. Now, there is a cap here, but the cap's starting now at 5,000 and will increase by 750 Valor each week as far as what you can obtain in a week, kind of jump starting here since we're so far into season 1 already. Here's another one that initially there was an extra little wrinkle, though, Indy, that basically within 24 hours, because of all of us not liking it, got this removed. There was actually a second cap on here for 1,500 on how much Valor your character could hold at a time. And one of the big concerns here with, hey, I can get 5,000 this week, but I can only hold 15. Am I going to be able to actually spend 1,500? Like, is there going to be stuff that I can spend it on so that then I can keep pushing for the next batch of 1,500, the next batch of 1,500? So it seemed very weird that these two caps were working simultaneously, your cap for week earned and your cap for carry. The cap for carry has been removed. So mercifully, we don't have to worry about that one.
Yeah, it seemed kind of stupid. Like, I didn't even see the logic in it anyways. There's some currency caps even now that I don't understand why they're so low, but I just figure it's because you're not meant to carry more than X amount. But for Valor, being that nobody's going to have pieces they're going to be able to upgrade right away, being like, well, if I can only hold this much, then what's the point? That was obvious, an obvious reversal. If it wasn't reversed, honestly, I think there'd be a lot of angry people this week.
And this does not negate the fact that if you worked your ass off all the way up until now to get the badass Mythic set that you wanted, but it's not quite upgraded to 220, let's say, you got to go get it again. You actually have to go get those items to drop for you again, whether it be from the Mythic dungeons themselves or from the Great Vault, so that you can then begin any upgrading you wanted to do. Maybe you have it all at 213. If you want to get it to 220, you're shit out of luck for what you're wearing. You got to go get those pieces again to do it.
Yeah. It feels bad because season
does.
1, like this isn't gonna do too much for us. Season 1, right? The system feels like it's in place to help you in the future patches, season 2 and beyond. Season 1, it's pretty much over. Anybody that's really actively been trying has most of their gear at 200 eye level, 220 or higher. But I don't know. Like most of my 200 pieces that I'm sitting in, I think I'm only sitting at 2 pieces that are like 200 eye level. They're from Raid. They're not even like Mythic pieces. They wouldn't be able to be upgraded anyway. So
there's a little bit of help here. Not a lot, but a little bit. If you complete a Mythic Keystone now and you miss the timer, you will now get a second item to drop there. But the disclaimer on that is that the item level of the second item will be slightly lower. The example they give in the patch notes is if you finish a Mythic 7 Keystone dungeon but not completing the timer, that now rewards the party with a 200 eye level item and a 197 eye level item. So a little extra loot. Granted, maybe not at the eye level you want, and will require one additional upgrade if its starting base is at least 200, right?
Yeah.
So on the Great Vault,
good.
I do like this one. I thought this one was weird. The Great Vault raid loot requirement is now defeat 3, 6, and 9 bosses for all 3 tabs. It was 3, 7, and 10. I actually am a fan of this change because it doesn't punish progression, Indy. If you're
my
still
curiosity is piqued.
Go ahead.
Though.
Go ahead.
Oh, my curiosity was piqued by this because it's like we're kind of on the cusp of a new raid at some point here. And could this be that there's going to be like less bosses in the next instance, perhaps? Like that's where my mind goes.
I think there might be.
Is it something they're really doing for the players, or is this something that's put there because the next content is going to be, maybe there's less bosses in that instance, or for whatever reason it needs to be 3, 6, and 9. I don't know. That's just where my mind goes.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a 9 boss raid coming up, considering that we have the 8 mega dungeon coming at the same time.
True.
So I probably wouldn't be surprised. I like this
I want
change
some
regardless.
smaller raids though.
Go ahead, sister.
I I want smaller raids. But I don't see it with this Great Vault happening. Like unless they're counting the whole tier. Like you remember when we had like just Onyxia by itself, and then we go to Blackwing Lair or Molten Core. Like I I miss these one-off bosses, Malagos. Like things like that we haven't had in a while. It's just go in, you do one boss, you leave. Like I want that. I want that
Like
back.
the Eye of Eternity.
Yeah, Malagos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss that. Oh, and the Obsidian
I
Sanctum. Yeah,
hated
let's get some
Malagos.
of that back.
I hated Malagos.
Well, Malagos just because it was a vehicle fight. That's why everybody hated it. But like, I just mean the concept of the one boss,
Right.
thing.
That would be cool.
But so like that ties into like if they were to do that again, how does that tie into how the Great Vault works? Is it just any boss from the tier? Like is that considered part of the tier? Like, Ruby Sanctum when that came out, that was nice because that was like a filler. It wasn't really a full tier. It was like just a small step up from ICC, I think it was.
I don't
Yeah,
think
you didn't
they
have to
intend
spend
to
all
do
night
it.
in there.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Andy. Go ahead.
Well, it's also nice if you don't want to spend all night, but you still want some sort of raid content. Like you can do something like that, an instance, one boss kind of thing. And I would totally be down for something like that.
Yeah. But I don't know. I like this 369 because it's like if where we're sitting right now in terms of our raid team where we're working on Sire Denathrius, right? And we're in phase 3, we're making progress. Like he's gonna go down soon, but we're not quite there. Having this have now like 3 options to be able to choose from gear is gonna help the raid team out a lot more because obviously 3 options is better than 2. So that's just how I look at it. So like it's good for progression. I like this change, and I think it is implemented exactly for this. It's for progression teams that are working and are still struggling in there. It's to help speed up gear a little bit, just a tiny bit.
Yeah, give you that one extra potential choice.
Yep.
Choice. Still has the RNG attached to it, so yay. I'm sorry, I'm just a little bitter at my vault today.
My vault's been a disappointment week after week.
I'm so glad I killed.
I'm gonna go open my vault and post show, so stick around. That's gonna happen.
Oh, I'll do mine with you because I haven't checked mine yet.
So happy. I really worked hard for that Stygia. Not bitter or anything. No new renown levels. We kind of speculated that possibly, since today would be the earliest day that people could hit 40 in renown by completing their 2 quests today for Anima and Souls. I haven't done mine yet, but when I do, I will be 40, and I presume both of you will too. Nobody fell behind, right?
No.
Okay. So we'll all be counts and countesses with our Venthyr, and we'll all get our mount. No new renown, but they are changing up the rewards a little bit on your Anima and your Souls quests. So once you reach 40 renown with your Covenant, the weekly quest to gather 1,000 Anima now rewards you with 1,500 gold. And once players have recruited the maximum amount of souls for their Covenant, your weekly quest to rescue souls from the Maw will now award you with 500 Anima. So we can pick up some extra Anima and some extra gold. I still kind of disappointed on this one. I wanted to see the renown cap go up. I feel like it probably will in 9.1. But yeah, so it's now become an Anima and gold daily, which doesn't exactly, or weekly, which doesn't exactly thrill me. But, it's another source of Anima, and that's something we've been bitching about.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time too, like with a lot of raid teams now, like working on Sire, like we're having the discussion in our raid team right now whether or not we're gonna start looking into using the mythic skip or heroic skip rather to go work, on those last couple bosses in terms of it. So if that's the case, we'll be getting a lot less anima from the rest of the instance. So this would make up for that. So it helps. It helps us lazy people get our anima.
And plus the higher end Covenant upgrades cost so much Anima. Like it took me forever to farm up the 12,500 that I needed to make my Ember Court have 4 guests. So like when you think of it in terms of how much you actually have to hoard before you upgrade the higher end Covenant upgrades, this is huge because 1,000 anima and 500 anima is like, that's something that you could go all day trying to grind and still not get, depending on what's available around the world.
I would have liked for it to give me Soul Ash instead. But that just would save me a Torghast run. That's all.
You really don't like Torghast.
I don't like Torghast at all. Which is weird because I love dungeon content. It's just Torghast does not do it for me. Although Zista and I were by the way, Zista, I still checked Monday and today. No adventure table has given me Soul Ash yet. I literally need 95 to take my 225 to 235 and be totally done with my legendary because I made a bad decision to begin with because I generally do. So yeah, I just need a freaking 120 adventure. Give me 120.
You'll get it like Thursday night at midnight.
Right.
I'm calling it now,
and
so it won't be ready in time for raid.
It won't be ready for raid. Yep. There's an awful lot of system changes that go on with this. We suggest you read the patch notes. A ton of class balancing. Obviously, there's 3 of us. We're limited on time. We're not going to cover every class here, nor do some of them justice because, I have not played a Warlock in forever. Was my main in BC, for God's sakes. So not going to cover all of them, but we will. We'll make the rounds here and cover our main class. But before we're all Venthyr, let's talk about some of the Covenant changes. Indy, I know you in particular wanted to jump into something I also don't enjoy doing, which is my Ember Court.
Come on. This is great news for Ember Court enthusiasts like me. Not only are you going to be able to get permanent RSVPs for guests that you earn the best friend status with, which means you're not going to have to go around and do their stupid quests to get their RSVP each week. Once you're best friends, you can just have them auto RSVP. And this is going to be account-wide too. All of these things for Venthyr are account-wide. So if you have an alt and you decide to go Venthyr, you can still earn all of these things for your Ember Court. You'll still have to open the Ember Court, of course. And then apart from the permanent RSVPs, this is something I've been complaining about. Temel and who's the other vendor? Lady Alinka no longer show you the items you've already learned. So rather than going through this long list of items and being like, oh man, did I learn this? And accidentally buying it again, it will automatically clear these things from the window for purchase. And then finally, you're also going to get a bind on account book at exalted status with Ember Court, and that makes your Dredger Butler, the little pet that you get, and you can upgrade him in 1,000,001 different ways. The Dredger Butler will handle the cleanup and restocking quests that happen after your Ember Court's over. So if you notice, after every Ember Court, this little quest pops up, you have to go run and get different things plus your rubies. Your Dredger will take care of that for you now. So I'm excited.
Indy, you are awesome. Entirely too happy. What is it about the Ember Court that you enjoy? I unlocked it. I did it a couple of times, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this again. This is just dumb.
It's see, everybody likes different stuff.
No doubt. That's why I'm asking. That's legitimately why I'm asking. What makes it such a turn on for you? Why do you love this?
It's a puzzle. And it's a game within a game. I love puzzles. So you're looking at the upgrade status where I am with Ember Court. I have 4 guests. And as they go up, they get harder and more specific in what they want. So you have to pair these guests in a way in which you can make them all happy in one Ember Court. And then once you throw the Ember Court, you have to go in and plot out exactly what you're going to do to make them happy. I don't know. It's just really fun. I enjoy it.
Hey, more power to you. I did it a couple of times, and I was like, yeah, I should probably go do my Ember. Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
The rewards are cool, too.
I'm going to go run Torghast instead.
You can get cosmetics as rewards. You get a lot of gold. You can also get these items that are apply a buff to you. So if you're going to throw an Ember Court and then go out and do all of your world quests outdoor in the Shadowlands, you can get really powerful buffs from your guests.
If you look at the patch notes, by the way, for the Covenant changes, I'm seeing Necrolord here, right? They got some Covenant ability changes to Fleshcraft's been redesigned, some Soulbind changes, Anima Conductor, Flowing Powers changes. Then we got the Night Fae. Then we got the Venthyr, and Indy so eloquently ran you through all of those with the Ember Court. I'm glad you are happy about the changes. I always like
I heard
people.
Zista was sleeping while I was talking about it.
It seems
Me?
somebody's missing. Necrolord,
Who?
Night Fae, Venthyr.
The Kyrian?
Nobody important.
I mean, the Kyrian just got a badass cutscene. That's what they got.
Yeah, they did.
They got Anduin.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
Anduin comes in. He's like, I got a message from the jailer.
It's like, hey, I need to talk to you about a little thing.
I need to see a guy
He's coming
about a thing.
See a guy about a thing. Who's that Uther walking by?
You guys chained up
You
with some other
look
dudes.
away when you're talking to me. So don't you look in my eyes. What the hell are we talking about?
Class
I don't know,
changes.
but this
Oh, yeah,
sounds really good.
Class changes. By the way, nerfs to a bunch of things in Castle Nathria and some dungeons, but you can go read those. They're not fun to talk about, but there are nerfs. Not huge ones, but probably beneficial ones, particularly Blood Council. Zista, we'll let you go. Tell me a little bit about what you like when you saw the changes for your Demon Hunter and your Demon Hunter Legendary.
Well, the one that affects me the most for the Demon Hunter is the Sinful Brand. We get 10% increased damage on Sinful Brand. That's just something we could cast every minute. It's I think you can knock it down to 50 seconds if you use certain conduits. And then for me, the big part is Metamorphosis puts it on every single target that I hit. So like in Mythic Pluses, I save that for big trash packs instead of using it on like a boss, which doesn't make a lot of sense. So more damage is always good. And then for the legendary ability, the one that really has me interested is my AoE legendary. Find the name of it because I don't remember names for anything. I just had it and then I scrolled away to look at something else and I can't find the thing. I just scrolled back. It's the thing with our eye beams, where it will increase the chance for collective anguish. It's called, or no, yeah, eye beams from collective. Oh no, that's the other guy, the ally. Every eye beam will deal critical damage now, but the dark glare medallion, which is our chance for eye beam to not incur its cooldown. It was at 20%. It's now at 40%. So that is kind of huge. I'm really excited for that. I crafted that legendary. I think I got it up to like stage 2, and then I haven't touched it again because I just found the one I've been using that has a chance to proc like my Chaos Strike, Eviscerate, essentially equivalent of Eviscerate, has a chance for it to double strike. So I was like, that just seems better to me all around. I haven't been using Dark Lair Medallion, but now I think I'll actually upgrade it.
Were the substantial rogue changes enough to tempt you to maybe hop on the old rogue?
Made me maybe actually want to delete it.
Really?
Oh my god.
No.
Really?
No. I just delete it for temptation to want to play it.
Yeah, they got a ton of changes. I still don't know like how viable they'll be.
I mean, most of the changes were in Assassination, though, and that's not a spec I play. I play Combat, or I forget what they call it now. The Pirate spec, whatever that's called.
Oh yeah.
It is. Like they changed everything. It's like roll, slice and dice changed to roll the bones, and that turned into like an RNG game, and you'd have to like roll like 5 or 6 times just to get the ones you wanted. It's. I know they fixed all that stuff now, but that's what turned me off from the class to begin with.
My Druids actually they didn't get a whole lot here actually. On the balance side, our Fury of Elune now deals damage regardless of cat or bear, Restoration, healing up on rejuvenation. That's good. Increased by 12%. Wild growth increased by 7%. And then some covenant abilities and some conduits. I mean, that was it. Nothing for my tank, right? But, c'est la vie. It's time to dual spec into healing now that we're up there in our tank gear. On the legendary, again, nothing for me in particular, but Feral getting a little more love again with Cat Eye Curio restoring 30% energy instead of 25%. And Frenzy Band now reduces the cooldown of Berserk by 0.3 seconds per combo. It was 0.2, and the bleed is 150%, not 100%. Yeah. Legacy of the Sleeper's Berserk description now says that we're immune to crowd control activities when active. Yeah, I mean, it already did. It just didn't say that. So, yay. I got a text update. That's mine in Guardian form on the Legendary. I got text updated, Indy. How did Blizz fare with your changes?
I mean, the biggest change right now to disc, a lot of people are, I think, more upset about this than they really need to be. They changed Spirit Shell down from 100% to now 80% absorbs of healing done. So, and then the absorption limit is now changed based on the caster's spell power rather than maximum health. So, I mean, it's going to change the way we use it a little bit. Is it going to absolutely destroy the way that we heal with Spirit Shell? No, it's only probably going to affect the raid priests that use it, because I don't see Spirit Shell used too much in dungeons. But that said, I follow a lot of really amazing disc priests who know a ton more about it than I do. And the general consensus is we're still going to, like, we were easily capping the absorbs. We were easily hitting that limit the way that it was. And I feel that even now, based on the information we have, we're still going to be maximizing this. We're still going to be hitting the cap for the absorption limit, and it's still going to be powerful. We're just not going to use it the same way. Like right now, the way that I the way that I used to pair my Spirit Shell was in conjunction with Desperate Prayer, because that would boost your hit points, and then you would cast Spirit Shell, and then your hit points would be way higher. We're not going to even need to use that in conjunction with Spirit Shell anymore, so it saves us a button, saves us a cooldown. And I mean, it just remains to be seen how damaging this is actually going to be. I'm not worried about it, but I'm not Mythic rating, so maybe some other people are a little bit more worried about the that 20%.
Divine
decrease.
Image on the legendary side of things for Holy Priest got some smackaroonies
Right.
here.
Right, but Holy Priest got a little change to Divine Hymn. Honestly, I don't think it's it almost makes it look as if it's a buff, because it stacks up to 5 times, but you have to remember, in order to channel Divine Hymn for 15 seconds, up from 8 seconds, to get all those stacks, you need to be completely still, and you can't take any hits. So I'm not a huge Holy Priest person, but Divine Hymn was always an issue for me in high movement fights, because it's like, when am I going to get to cast this anyway?
Right. It's
So that's one
highly
thing.
situational at best.
Right. And then for the legendary, the one that you're talking about, I never personally chose Divine Image for Holy. I always used Flash Concentration, and Flash Concentration actually got buffed.
Yeah.
The duration is now 20 seconds instead of 15. I'm going to get to update my weak aura. It's going to be so nice, because having those few extra seconds of Flash Concentration is huge. You're going to save so much mana on spamming Flash. So that's good. I don't see anything really horrible here for priests. I mean, obviously, Spirit Shell, it might be a little bit of a bummer. I don't think it's damaging.
So let me ask you, Mike, let me ask you this. Aside from the class changes, would your favorite changes for coming up be these new Torghast changes?
Yes. Yes.
They nerf the amount of mobs inside.
I love them. Actually. I think these are good Torghast changes. I like that there's a little description. Okay, great, fine. Add some flavor text. Great, fantastic. But I do like, on a serious note, I do like that a recommended eye level. I always thought it was weird that there wasn't one of those from the beginning, giving you an idea. Because we all, when it launched, right, and we were max level and we went and tried it, it was just, let's go as far as we can. And then, oh shit, I just got wrecked. clearly I probably shouldn't be here yet, and there's no real reason for that type of trial and error in an MMO anymore.
And I think part of that is the reason that turned you off from it in the first place.
What, the actual just getting because
Yeah.
my initial progress in there was no problem, somewhat challenging. The next one's probably going to be challenging too then, but I might be able to get through it, and then I'll probably stop at the next one. I won't be able to do it alone or right now until I gear up a little bit. But instead it went no problem, soul-crushing injury. I mean, it was just it's just swamp.
Because like me and Mike ran Torghast this last Sunday,
Yeah.
right? We ran it there. We had maybe 1 or 2 deaths each,
Yeah.
right? No big deal. It
And
wasn't.
we ran
like,
two layer 8s.
Yeah, so like it wasn't stressful. It wasn't hard. It
No.
wasn't challenging. Me and Mike are just sitting there bullshitting the entire time. But he's still like, I hate this, and like, there's no reason for him to hate it at that point. You know, like it's just it's leftover resentment from what happened when he started. You know.
They did reduce
It
the
can be
enemies on
really
multiple
fun, though.
floors, so that's got to be good. You know, it just anything. To
I mean, the
speed
one
it
I'm
up a
worried
little
about
bit.
is the one where you portal jump to like all the different platforms,
Yeah.
and they're just filled with maw rats. There's way too many maw rats. Just get rid of them all. I just want to portal jump right to the end with no mobs.
We're not going to go through these. There is like a page and a half of anima power changes.
Oh, come on. We have to do every single one.
Every single
One
one?
at a
All right,
time.
forget Jason's stream. Let's go through every single anima
Oh,
power
no.
change here. Here we go.
Well, what's your favorite one? Let's put it that way.
No, I don't care. I legitimately don't care.
Come on, it's Torghast. It's your favorite. We all know this.
Here, well, Force Pull for Death Knights has been renamed Death Hook and now has an additional effect. It causes Death Grip to instead pull you to the target. That seems like a great change for me.
You
Whoa,
literally
whoa.
just picked one random one and read it.
I-
That's your favorite one.
I
Hold
literally
on.
closed my
Are
eyes.
you telling me that
scrolled-
Death Knights are Death Knights being given a life grip?
I don't know.
Yes.
Is that what that means? Yeah. Yeah. Force Pull has been renamed Death Hook and has an additional effect. Causes Death Grip to instead pull you to the target. So it takes you
It's a
to the
reverse.
target. It's
It's
in
a reverse life grip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't
It's reverse
don't
life
give
grip.
anybody else life grip, Blizzard.
Here,
Don't
let's
give
find a
anybody
nice
else life-
priest one. Enduring Spirit spell duration increased by 80%, Indy. It was 50.
Mhm.
Congrats.
Sure.
Mhm.
Oh, look, here's Demon Hunters.
Mhm.
Fury Wing no longer deals damage to you if Fell Rush or Infernal Strike fail to deal damage.
Perfect.
Mm.
How about
buff
Druid?
the
Druid had the
gnarly.
longest list.
Druids,
right?
I'll read you the entire list of Druids.
Okay.
Please,
Okay.
God, no.
Fixed an
Yes.
issue that rarely caused Druids to remain in a stunned state if they died while inside Pod Tender Dreamweaver Soulbind. That's it. It's the only change
That's the
we
whole
got.
list.
It's the entire list of Druid anima changes.
Everybody else is sitting at like
Yeah,
9, 10.
9, 10. Druids
Druids
are like,
at 1.
yeah. Oh, by the way,
It's a
it's just a
bug
bug fix. We didn't change anything. We just fixed you from being perma-stunned.
That's something.
Oh, and class changes, we fixed your text.
Mhm.
Congratulations, Druids. Well, Feral got a little bit of love, but yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So lots and lots of good stuff. Lots and lots of good stuff. You can see it in game now. Start farming your Valor because I think, Zista, you're probably right. This does seem, I mean, I'm at 213 and I'm still wearing a 200 weapon. So if I got a 213 weapon, I'd be up around 216, 217. There is no need for me to really beat my head in with Mythics to upgrade right now. So yeah, I do tend to agree with you that it is probably future-proofing some progress more than, while adding a little bit of help right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, get to farming that Valor like we did in the old days, son.
It cracks me up a little because like you got to look and be like, who's this system actually for, right? So if you're sitting at low level gear and you're sitting at like 200 eye level still, right? The problem, the reason for that is you're probably not doing the higher end content, but you have to do the higher end content to be able to upgrade the gear. So it's still like a catch-22. So it's like, I don't know. It like I said, it just seems like it's 100% future proofing.
Do either of you play Valheim?
I do.
Not
I actually
yet.
just started yesterday.
But I'm interested because I see my friends playing it. So
Somebody built Stormwind Harbor in Valheim. Here, let me show it to you. Oh, whoa. That is not Stormwind Harbor. That is. What is this? Heyo, that is not Stormwind Harbor. I mean, there's a ship being docked, but it is not Stormwind Harbor. I mean, what do you mean, really, Mike? Really, chat? I mean, what really, Mike? I think I'm getting flack for my ship is docked. That dude is there's definitely a full mast. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. No, you can't. But Indy, your character's got just a great smile on her face. She's just. Who's the artist here? Credit where due. Yeah, you could put it in chat. I just want to make sure we give credit since this was a commissioned work. It's beautiful work. Beautiful work. Oh no, chat is yeah. 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 I don't have you muted. It's impossible for you to be muted. I can hear you. Can you hear Zista, chat? Yeah. What? I don't. Yeah.
it's also registering in Discord. I'm lighting up in Discord.
No
So
Zista? How about there?
They're saying
You
no
got
me
him?
either.
There. Oh, we got him. We got him. We got you back. I don't know what
Okay.
happened there.
you
Okay.
muted both of us?
No, apparently. My joke. Omi
Oh.
says that my joke broke the audio. All right, so now
Oh,
Indy, go
no.
ahead and give credit to the artist there, and
The
then you got to
artist of
talk
this-
about your fanfic again.
No, I'll just give a really brief. So I'm writing a little short story called Atonement. It's going to be about when my priest quests through Revendreth and she encounters Kael'thas all chained up. And
Oh, this is an encounter. This is definitely.
this is her breaking the chains from him, though.
Oh,
Like she's gonna.
He's about to break something.
The accuser is a mean witch, and she keeps like dominating him. So I'm just breaking him free.
What do you? But chat, really? Mike, what it's? I'm looking. I'm having a conversation with Indy about what's going on here.
And the artist is Chaos. The artist is Chaos U 3D on Twitter.
It was beautiful art.
Wonderful art. And yeah, they do mostly not safe for work stuff, but I wanted safe for work so I could actually.
Yeah, no poop deck
share.
stuff.
Not like your OnlyFans.
God, we're back to the fictional OnlyFans.
$17.99 a month. OnlyFans.com.
First month free.
/
Don't forget to tell them about the free sample.
Hey, that's not for everybody. That's not for everybody.
Oh.
I can't just be giving out the samples. That's not the way this works
Oh.
either. That's not the way this works.
Ready check radio's swimsuit calendar when.
Jason's gonna bust out a Speedo.
Oof. That's a frightening thought. So
I'll wear my 4-piece
I have a
swimsuit.
Twitch channel on a website for sale if anybody wants to buy it.
My mom's watching, by the way.
Does your mom approve of this picture? Does she
Of
like Mr. Sunstrider too? Does it like
I'm
run
sure
in the
she
family?
Loves the picture.
Like everybody in the family is like, I love Sunstrider.
See, she loves it. She says she loves it there.
Very cool. Very cool. I'd buy that for $1. That's
You're
a
about
great reference,
$16.99
Defcon. That's a
short.
great reference. Well, Indy, beautiful art. Beautiful art. You'll have to keep us posted on some more. But what we were really talking about, I don't even know how this picture got in here. So let's get rid of it. I have no idea
You're
how
going
it
to
got
show
there.
us Stormwind.
Yeah, Stormwind in Valheim. Someone built Stormwind
Beautiful.
Harbor.
That is gorgeous.
I mean, this is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
It is. It is. On
I wanna
Reddit,
play the game now.
so this was posted by Eric XSG on Reddit, and the best comments you could possibly hope for are, "Oh, hey, I thought that was Warcraft," because yeah, it's damn good. It's beautiful. So Eric XSG, I mean, everybody in the world watches this show, so Eric's definitely watching. Congratulations, this thing is beautiful. Beautiful. I do think we should say real quick that Burning Crusade coming to Classic, we expect an announcement on beta sometime soon here. It's kind of leaked that it possibly could be next month. But people that were a little unhappy with bots and everybody being at max level now in World of Warcraft Classic decided that they were going to roll new characters on a whole new low pop server and have a fresh experience. And so a bunch of people signed up. A bunch of people did it. Estimates put it at probably about 1,300 players, roughly. I'm sorry, about 3,000 players, roughly. That's just estimates based on Discord attendance and how many. Yeah, so we don't have exact numbers, but they estimate about 3,000 players, 20 guilds.
That sounds like complete chaos.
Yeah. And you know what? It absolutely did end in complete chaos with everybody just basically bogged down at the beginning of the game, not able to do anything. But it is said that everybody had a good time. And you know what, Indy? I don't think I would have I think if it would have been any other way, I would have been disappointed, right? I remember launch day of expansions and all that aggravation and everything. And
not even launch day. Like, this goes back to the AQ gates, like when that opened, funneling everybody into one location. And it's just like,
that was amazing.
You know, like, at least WoW has learned its lesson over the course of it, and they've like spread out. You know, like you can start in various other zones. Like you can start where you want. Like that was how Draenor went, and you know, Legion, and this one. It's like everything scales now. Even Burning Crusade, you could kind of, like, after that first zone, you kind of split down and take a different path, even though you were funneled into Hellfire at the very beginning. But like, they've learned their lesson since then, and the gates haven't even had this problem on Classic when those opened. But this is just insane.
Chat wondering what the frames in Stormwind Harbor Valheim were. Funny you should say that. Somebody did ask on Reddit. He said, normally I'm at 90 plus when walking in the forest or doing something. When I'm in here, it's 20 to 25. So pretty substantial performance hit. Yeah, I wouldn't have had it any other way, Indy. I think, yeah. If it would have been smooth, then I might have been disappointed. Classic should be rough. It should be rough.
Yes. I say this all the time. But no, you know, I was there launch day with my friends, and we couldn't stay connected for more than like 5 minutes. It was awful. That's the struggle. I mean, even back in the day, Classic, I remember when instance servers would go down and everybody would just log on and create a new character, and then like Northshire Abbey would be absolutely mobbed, and every other starting zone like that people would just clamor to just because everything else world servers were down. That's the experience. Keep it in the game.
It is the experience. Well, let's wrap it up, gang. This week's event is Warlord of Draenor Dungeons. No raid, and you've got the Unbridled Darkness Torghast event live. Last take. Are you guys unhappy that 9.1 is probably a couple months away still? Does it feel too long from 9.0, Indy?
No, I need to catch up, please. Please, I've been a little bit of a slacker. I need some time to catch up to 9.1.
Zista?
I would also like some time so I could get those mythic dungeons done so we can get Daddy D put down once again.
Daddy D's jealous because in that picture he's not the one being put down.
Yeah, he's next.
I'm gonna give it like another month and a half. I think anything more than that is too long. But
I think we have more than a month and a half wait in front of us. And
I love how you both call him Daddy D.
I mean
does
that's
he have
his
another
name.
name?
What else do you want me to call him?
Denny.
Diablo 2, by
Denny
the way.
is where I go to get really bad food after like drunk BlizzCon parties.
Little update. Oh my god, I can't take it anymore. We got to get to the end of this show. Diablo 2, cross progression, not cross play though. Meant to make that note. Although, if you still play the original, your PC version can carry a save from that original to the remake. So enjoy those two things. And I'm supposed to tell you all poop. No lore or lies because we're running a little late here. So we'll be back next week. We'll resume the lore or lies schedule. But chat, make sure you hang on after the show today because we will have a streamer coming up to stream some games at you. As always, the channel will go dark for, 20, 30 seconds or so after the stream, or after the post show, I should say. And then we'll be right back up after we've relabeled Twitch and everything with the stream there. Until we meet again next week, Indy, where can everybody find you?
So you guys can find me everywhere at Indy Garona, Twitch, Twitter, pretty much the same name on all platforms. I try to stream 6 days a week, mostly World of Warcraft content. Come on by and say hello.
Zista.
You can find me on twitch.tv/Zista, XIZTA, where all week I will be playing Valheim. We just started a brand new server yesterday, and don't expect anything to look like Stormwind Harbor, especially not from me.
What? Wait, you're not gonna build Stormwind Harbor?
No.
You have a bunch of friends. It's a bunch of people in Raid, right? It's that server you guys were talking about making?
They actually, my guild's got a server, but I just opened one for my stream yesterday. But if anything, like I would try to maybe think about building Orgrimmar, but that's just way too much, and no, it's not happening.
I wanted to introduce Jason, but I guess he's not getting on Discord.
Make sure you don't mute him too.
Well, like I can like give you a little extra thing while we wait. Is Overwatch actually has a Pachamari challenge that is running right now from March 9th, which is today, until March 22nd. 9 wins will give you a new Roadhog skin where he's all dressed in a Pachamari costume.
Aww.
Very cute.
Played Roadhog.
Very cute. There he is, Mr. Winter. What's up, sir?
I heard you saying we're gonna wrap up. Would you guys just not do lore lies anymore?
We didn't for the last two episodes because of running long for topic wise. What are you streaming today?
I'm doing more of Endzone: A World Apart, which I did last week, and I was so happy with how well my little community, my little post-apocalyptic community was going. Then I streamed on Sunday, and I have the list of things that went wrong. I got like a whole list here.
Oh, jeez.
We're still recovering from this. There was a drought. We also ran out of food and water. There was a radiating rain, so people are sick. There's a dust storm that damaged all the buildings. Half the village is naked because I can't make clothes fast enough. And we're almost out of tools. We're kind of digging in the dirt. So it's going to be a great stream. Yeah. Lots of fun.
Lots of fun. And if you like having characters named after you, Jason does have a propensity for naming characters after chat.
You died a long time ago, Mike.
I died, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
old age, though. I don't think anybody's died from, like, having a...
It's not like Oregon Trail. Nobody got dysentery or anything.
Oh, no.
Stay tuned for Jason on that. I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me personally there at MagicMan1. But more importantly, follow at RC Radio, RAIDEO, so you get tweets on all the shows that we do, 3 shows a week on various topics, and all the volunteer streamers behind the scenes. It's been a lot of fun, gang. Enjoy 905. Stay safe. We'll see you on the servers. Oh, shit. That's the wrong image.